At 11:47 p.m., a black, obese woman stopped the most feared Korean mafia boss in a hotel lobby and said quietly, "5 men will come for you at midnight. Suite 1400. Remember this. Echo 7. Byung-sok didn't even look at her. To him, she was just another woman people ignore. He waved her away. She didn't argue. She only added one thing as she walked off. "You'll remember me when you start bleeding." 13 minutes later, 5 killers kicked in the door of Suite 1400. Knives out, no guns, no witnesses. As Byung-sok was forced back into a corner, blood running down his side, one thought hit him harder than the blades. How did she know? And what exactly was Echo 7? Because whatever that woman knew, she knew it before anyone else. And the moment he remembered her warning was the moment his life depended on it. This story is wild. Before the story continues, let me say this. If any of these stories comfort you, entertain you, or make you feel understood, please subscribe. It's free, but it means everything to this channel. Now, let's continue. Byung-sok's leather shoes clicked against marble as he crossed the Plaza Grand Hotel lobby. Midnight meetings weren't unusual in his line of work. Territory negotiations rarely happened during business hours. His phone buzzed, a text from his second-in-command, Min-jun. "Suite secured, clean sweep, no threats detected." He typed back with one hand, the other adjusting his Patek Philippe watch. 3 minutes until midnight. "Sir?" The voice came from his left, low, female, uncertain. Byung-sok didn't turn. Hotel staff always wanted something. Directions, autographs from someone they mistook him for, complaints about noise from his suites. His security team dealt with those interruptions. "Sir, please." He paused. Something in her tone made his jaw tighten. Not pleading, warning. The woman stood near a marble pillar, black, obese. Her hotel uniform stretched tight across her frame, a housekeeping vest with a crooked name tag that read Erica. Sweat beaded on her forehead despite the hotel's aggressive air conditioning. Her eyes locked onto his, dark, serious, almost frantic. "5 men will come for you at midnight, Suite 1400. Remember this, Echo 7. Byung-sok Dae-jung stepped between them immediately. "Move along, Mr. Sok doesn't have time for Echo 7, Erica repeated, louder now. Her hands trembled, but her voice stayed steady. "You'll remember me when you start bleeding." Byung-sok looked at her properly then, took in the maintenance cart behind her, the industrial cleaning bottles, the gray streaks in her hair pulled back in a hasty bun. Women like her existed on the periphery of his world. Invisible hands that cleaned the blood from his floors, the evidence from his crimes. Nobody. He waved dismissively. "Get her away from me." Dae-jung moved forward, not touching but blocking her path as Byung-sok continued toward the elevator. Erica didn't fight, didn't argue. She only called after him, words cutting through the lobby's muzak. "You'll remember me when you start bleeding." The elevator doors closed on her face. Inside, Byung-sok adjusted his cufflinks. Dae-jung frowned at the brushed steel walls. "Want me to have her fired?" "No." Byung-sok checked his phone again. "Crazy woman, probably wants money, thinks prophecy theater will get her a payout." She mentioned Suite 1400 specifically. "Half the hotel knows I rent that floor." Byung-sok's tone went cold. "Focus on the meeting. The Changsan crew is already 15 minutes late. If this is a setup." Min-jun swept twice. "We're clean." The elevator climbed. Byung-sok thought about the woman's eyes, the way she'd said Echo 7 like it meant something, like it should mean something to him. He didn't recognize the term, which meant nothing. People invented code words all the time, hoping to sound important, connected. Street prophets and conspiracy theorists populated every city, spinning narratives from coincidence. The elevator reached the 14th floor. 11:58 p.m. His phone buzzed. Min-jun again. "Ready when you are." Byung-sok stepped into the hallway. Plush carpet absorbed his footsteps. Dae-jung flanked his right, hand inside his jacket where a Glock waited. Suite 1400 sat at the hall's end, corner unit, reinforced door, 3 security cameras Min-jun had installed that morning. Byung-suk's instincts hummed. Not quite alarm, just the low-frequency awareness that had kept him alive through 2 decades of underworld business. He thought about the woman again. 5 men at midnight. His watch read 11:59. "Check the hallway cameras," Byung-suk told Dae-jung. Dae-jung pulled out a tablet linked to their security system. "Hallways empty, stairwells clear, only movement is us." Byung-suk nodded, slid his keycard through Suite 1400's reader. The light blinked green. He pushed the door open and stepped into silence. The suite stretched before him, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city's late-night glitter, leather furniture arranged in conversation clusters, a bar cart stocked with premium whiskey. Min-jun stood by the windows, phone pressed to his ear. 2 other security men flanked the room's corners. Normal, quiet. Byung-suk's shoulders loosened slightly. Midnight arrived. His watch face showed 12:000 exactly. Nothing happened. Min-jun ended his call, crossed toward Byung-suk. "The Changsan crew just canceled. Their boss got arrested an hour ago. DEA raid in Koreatown." Byung-suk processed that. So this meeting was pointless. Looks like it. "Why didn't you call earlier?" "I just found out. Their people went dark after the raid." Byung-suk moved to the windows. The city sprawled below, lights like scattered diamonds. He poured whiskey from the bar cart, 2 fingers, no ice. The woman's face flashed through his mind. 5 men, midnight, Suite 1400. He smiled grimly. Another false prophet selling fear. Glass touched his lips. Then wood splintered. The suite's door exploded inward, not picked, not unlocked, but kicked with enough force to rip the reinforced frame from its moorings. 5 men poured through. Black tactical gear, no patches, no identification, and knives. Combat blades, serrated edges, military issue. No guns. Byung-suk's whiskey glass shattered on marble as his hand went for his shoulder holster. Min-jun moved first, drawing his weapon, but a blade caught him across the forearm before his barrel cleared. His gun clattered away, blood spraying the cream-colored couch. Dae-jung fired twice. 2 attackers dropped. One grabbed his throat, the other his chest, but the remaining 3 closed the distance before Dae-jung could adjust aim. Knives moved like whispers. One blade opened Dae-jung's shoulder, another caught his thigh. He went down hard, firing wildly, bullets punching through expensive artwork. The other 2 security men rushed forward. One took a knife through the ribs. The other managed to tackle an attacker, grappling on blood-slicked marble. Byung-suk drew his Sig Sauer, fired center mass at the nearest attacker. The man jerked, staggered, but didn't fall. Body armor, under the tactical gear. The attacker smiled, kept coming. Byung-suk aimed higher, squeezed the trigger. Click. Magazine empty. He'd fired 6 rounds without counting, adrenaline overriding training. The attacker lunged. Byung-suk sidestepped, muscle memory from 20 years of violence taking over. His elbow cracked into the man's temple, not enough to drop him, but enough to buy seconds. He ran. Not toward the door, 2 attackers blocked that exit. Toward the suite's bedroom. Knives scraped against leather furniture as the men pursued. One of his security team screamed, then went silent. Byung-suk slammed the bedroom door, locked it, knew it wouldn't hold long. The room spun, not from fear, from reality catching up. 5 men, midnight, Suite 1400. She knew it. The obese black woman with sweat on her forehead and terror in her eyes knew exactly what would happen. Fists pounded the bedroom door. Wood cracked. Byung-suk's breath came in sharp bursts. His side burned. He looked down. Blood soaked through his shirt. He hadn't felt the cut, but now pain bloomed hot and insistent. When had they tagged him? The door shuddered, splintered. He backed toward the windows. 14 stories up. No balcony. No fire escape. Remember this. Echo 7. What did that mean? His mind raced. Echo 7. Code word? Location? A person? The door gave way. 3 attackers stepped through, the ones he hadn't shot, the ones still moving with surgical precision. No words, no demands, just knives. Biam-sok grabbed a bedside lamp, hurled it. One attacker batted it aside. They spread out, flanking him, cutting off any path to escape. He was going to die. Not in a dramatic shootout, not in a car chase, but cornered in a luxury hotel suite, bleeding out while silent killers took their time. Echo 7. The woman had given him something. A key, a tool. But what did it unlock? An attacker lunged. Biam-sok caught the knife hand, twisted, heard bone crack. The man grunted but didn't cry out. Another blade sliced across Biam-sok's back, shallow but burning. He spun, elbow up, caught someone's jaw. Blood filled his mouth, his own, from biting his tongue. When the blades come, you'll need it. He needed it now. But what was it? His vision blurred. Blood loss, adrenaline crash, both. Another knife caught his shoulder, deep this time. His right arm went numb. The attackers were professionals, drawing it out, making sure. Biam-sok stumbled backwards. His legs hit the bed frame. He fell, sprawling across expensive sheets that immediately soaked red. An attacker stood over him, raised his knife. Biam-sok thought about his mother, about Min-jun's family, about the empire he'd built from nothing, and about a woman he'd dismissed without a second thought. Echo 7. His eyes caught something. On the wall beside the bed, a small panel, cream-colored, almost invisible against the cream wallpaper. Black letters stenciled across it. Emergency System Access. And below that, a keypad. Numbers 0 to 9. And letters. ECHO-7. His hand shot out, fingers slick with blood. He pressed the panel. It popped open. The keypad glowed green. Behind him, the attacker hesitated, looked at the panel, looked at his companions. They didn't know what it was either. Biam-sok's fingers hovered. 7 characters. ECHO-7. But the keypad showed numbers and letters together. He needed the numeric code. Think. Hotels used numeric systems. E would be 3 on a phone keypad. C would be 2. H would be 4. O would be 6. 3, 2, 4, 6, 7. He punched it in. Nothing happened. The attacker grabbed his hair, yanked his head back, knife pressed against his throat. "Wait!" Biam-sok choked out. Then sound erupted. Not from the room, from everywhere. Alarms, deafening, industrial-grade alarms that shook the walls. Red emergency lights strobed through the suite, and beneath it all, a mechanical grinding as steel shutters began descending over every window, every door. The hotel's emergency lockdown system. The attacker released Biam-sok's hair, spun toward the door. Too late, a steel barrier crashed down, sealing the bedroom entrance. Another sealed the suite's main door. They were trapped. All of them. Biam-sok rolled off the bed. His body screamed. Blood poured from multiple wounds, but he was alive. The attackers moved to the windows, tried to pry open the shutters. Useless. Industrial steel designed to contain fires, chemical spills, terrorist attacks. And then, voices. Plaza Grand Security, Suite 1400 is in emergency lockdown. Armed response incoming. Boots pounded in the hallway. Not hotel security, something heavier, faster. One attacker pulled a phone, started typing frantically. Another kicked at the steel shutter, made no progress. The third looked at Biam-sok, eyes cold, calculating. If they were going down, they'd complete the contract first. He raised his knife. Gunfire exploded through the suite's walls. Not random shots, controlled bursts, military precision. The steel shutter over the main door shrieked as something on the other side cut through it. Sparks flew. An angular opening appeared, growing wider. Black-clad figures poured through. Not police, not hotel security, private military, full tactical gear. rifles with laser sights painting red dots across everything. "Drop your weapons." The three attackers looked at each other, a silent conversation. Then they moved as one, not toward the PMC team, toward Sok. Final attempt. Complete the contract. The PMC team fired. Close quarters, no hesitation, center mass shots that punched through body armor at this range. All three attackers dropped. Blood pooled on marble. Silence. Just the alarms, the red strobing lights, Sok's ragged breathing. A PMC operator approached, rifle still raised. He spoke into his comms. "Target secured. Multiple hostiles down. We need medical." Sok tried to sit up, failed. His body refused commands. The operator knelt beside him, checked his wounds. "Sir, stay still. Medics are coming." "Who?" Sok's voice came out hoarse. "Who are you?" "Plaza Grand employs us for emergency response. When Suite 1400 triggered lockdown, we deployed immediately." "I didn't know," Sok said. "That system existed. It's listed in the Premium Suite documentation. Emergency protocol for high-value guests. You press the panic code, the whole floor locks down, and we respond within 90 seconds. Echo 7. Yes, sir. That's the code for Suite 1400's emergency system. Each premium suite has a unique alphanumeric." "How would anyone know that?" The operator shrugged. "Hotel staff are briefed on all emergency systems. Fire codes require it, in case they need to help guests evacuate." Hotel staff. Erica. The woman he'd dismissed. The woman he'd waved away like an insect. She'd known because she worked here, knew the systems, the codes, the layout. But more than that, she'd known about the 5 men, about midnight, about Suite 1400. How? If you're sitting there amazed at how Erica knew what Sok didn't, drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from. And if you believe that the people we ignore often see what we miss, hit that like button and subscribe to Love and Tension, because this story gets deeper. Medics arrived, professional, quick. They worked on Sok's wounds, pressure bandages, IV lines, oxygen. He grabbed one medic's wrist. "Am I dying?" "Not today. You've lost blood, but none of the cuts hit major arteries. You'll need stitches, antibiotics, rest." "My men. 2 dead, 3 critical. They're being transported now. Minjun and Daejung, critical, not dead." That would have to be enough. The medic stabilized him, loaded him onto a gurney, wheeled him through the destroyed suite, past bodies, past blood, past shattered furniture and bullet-riddled walls. Police filled the hallway now. Real police, not PMC operators. Cameras flashed. Crime scene tape went up. A detective approached the gurney as they waited for the elevator. "Mr. Sok, I'm Detective Park. We'll need your statement about—" "Later," Sok interrupted. His voice gained strength. "I'll come to the station tomorrow." "Sir, 5 men are dead. This is—" "Self-defense. Check the suite cameras. Check the hallway footage. They broke in, attacked us. We defended ourselves." Park's jaw tightened, but he nodded. In this city, certain names carried weight. Sok's was one of them. The elevator arrived. Medics pushed the gurney inside. As the doors closed, Sok spoke. "Detective, one more thing." "Sir?" "There's a hotel employee. Housekeeping. Black woman. Name tag says Erica. Find her. Bring her to me." Park frowned. "Why?" "She's a witness." "To the attack?" "To everything." The elevator descended. Sok closed his eyes. Pain throbbed through every wound, but his mind worked. 5 men. Midnight. Suite 1400. She'd known. All of it. Not a lucky guess, not a con. She'd possessed specific intelligence about an assassination attempt on his life, which meant someone had told her, or she'd overheard, or, and this option made his blood run colder than the knife wounds, she was connected somehow, part of the network, playing both sides. The elevator reached the ground floor. Lobby full of guests in robes and pajamas, hotel management trying to contain panic, police cordoning off the elevator banks. The medics wheeled him toward the front entrance where ambulances waited. He scanned faces, looking for her. The obese black woman with sweat on her forehead and prophecy on her lips. She wasn't there. 3 days passed. Byamsak recovered in a private medical facility. No hospitals, no records, no questions. His organization ran its own doctors, its own pharmacies, its own morgues. 47 stitches, 2 liters of blood replaced, antibiotics pumping through IV lines. Minjun survived, lost his arm below the elbow but survived. Daejung would walk with a cane. Multiple stab wounds had shredded muscle tissue. The other 2 were cremated, their families compensated, quietly, generously. The 5 attackers remained unidentified. No fingerprints in any database, no dental records, no DNA matches. Professional ghosts. Someone had paid top dollar to erase Byamsak from existence. The question was who? His empire had enemies, dozens, rival organizations, corrupt politicians he'd refused to bribe, business partners he'd outmaneuvered. Any of them could have funded this hit. But that wasn't what kept him awake at night. What kept him awake was the woman, Erica. Detective Park had reported back on the second day. Erica James, 48 years old, housekeeping staff at Plaza Grand for 7 years, lived in a rent-controlled apartment in the Bronx. No criminal record, no political affiliations, no obvious connections to organized crime. Ordinary, invisible, which made her knowledge impossible. Park had tried to bring her in for questioning. She'd disappeared. Called in sick the day after the attack. Hadn't been home since. Her apartment sat empty, mail piling up. Her phone went straight to voicemail. Gone. Byamsak had put the word out. Every contact, every informant, every set of eyes his organization owned. Find Erica James. Don't hurt her, don't scare her, just find her. Nothing. She'd vanished as completely as the 5 dead attackers. On the 4th day, Byamsak checked himself out of the medical facility against his doctor's protests. He couldn't lie in bed anymore, couldn't stare at ceiling tiles while questions ate him alive. He needed answers. His driver, a new man since his previous security team was dead or recovering, took him to the Plaza Grand. Different management now. The attack had triggered corporate panic, new protocols, new security, new faces. But the housekeeping supervisor was the same, Margaret Chen, 62, 20 years with the hotel. She met Byamsak in a back office that smelled of industrial cleaner and stale coffee. "Mr. Sok," she stood, uncomfortable, "I'm so sorry about what happened. The hotel is conducting a full investigation into—" "I'm not here about the hotel," Byamsak said, without being invited. His wounds pulled tight. "I'm here about Erica James." Margaret's discomfort deepened. "The police already asked me about her." "I'm not the police." "I know who you are, Mr. Sok. Everyone does." "Then you know I don't make threats. I ask questions, I get answers. That's how this works." Margaret swallowed, nodded. "Tell me about Erica," Byamsak said. "What do you want to know?" "Everything." Margaret sat, folded her hands. "She's been with us 7 years. Good worker. Never late, never complained. Kept to herself mostly. Friends? Not really. The other housekeepers found her strange." "Strange how?" "She'd say things. Predictions, I guess you'd call them. Little things at first. She told Maria that her son would get accepted to his top-choice college 3 weeks before the letter arrived. Told James is our maintenance guy, that he'd meet someone special on a Tuesday in March. He met his fiancée that exact day." Byamsak leaned forward despite the pain. "Go on." "The staff started calling her a witch. Not mean, more like respectful. Scared, maybe. She'd know things she shouldn't know. When someone was about to get fired, when couples were having affairs, when guests were dangerous. Dangerous how? We get all types at the Plaza Grand. Drug dealers, criminals, people using fake names. Erica would warn us. She'd say, "Don't go into room 832 alone," Or, don't clean suite 1200 until afternoon. She was always right. How did she know? Margaret shrugged. Some people thought she had cameras hidden or listening devices, but we swept her locker, her cart, everything. Nothing. She'd just know. Byamsak thought about that. The night of the attack, she approached me in the lobby. I saw that. I was at the front desk doing shift schedules. What did she do after I dismissed her? She went back to her cart, stood there for maybe 30 seconds, then walked to the employee locker room, packed her things, left through the service entrance. Haven't seen her since. Did she say anything? To anyone? Not that I heard, but... Margaret hesitated. But what? She left something in her locker. For you, apparently. Byamsak's pulse quickened. Show me. They walked through service corridors, bare concrete and exposed pipes, the hotel's hidden skeleton. The employee locker room smelled of sweat and cheap body spray. Margaret opened locker 37, mostly empty, but taped to the inside of the door was a white envelope. Mr. Sock, written in neat handwriting. Byamsak took it, felt the weight. Something inside besides paper. He opened it. A hotel key card fell into his palm, room 2847, and a note on Plaza Grand stationery. The shadows talk to people like me. We're the ones who clean up after darkness leaves. We hear confessions in the walls, see futures in bloodstains, read endings in the way powerful men walk. You asked how I knew. I knew because your enemies aren't careful around invisible women. They think we can't understand. Can't remember, can't act. You're welcome for saving your life. Don't look for me. But if you want to understand what's coming next, go to room 2847, alone, midnight. The truth about who sent those 5 men is waiting there, and the truth about why they'll send more. E. Byamsak read it twice, then a third time. What does it say? Margaret asked. Nothing. He pocketed the key card and note. Erica James never worked here. You've never heard her name. If anyone asks, she's a ghost. Understand? Mr. Sock, do you understand? Margaret nodded quickly. Byamsak left. Midnight. Byamsak stood outside room 2847, alone as instructed. His driver waited in the parking garage. No security team. The men he trusted were dead or broken. He slid the key card through the reader. Green light. Magnetic lock disengaged. He pushed the door open. The room was dark, not empty dark, occupied dark. Someone was here. His hand went to his jacket, the Sig Sauer loaded now, safety off. Don't. Erica's voice came from the shadows. If you came here to shoot me, you've already lost. Lights flickered on, dim, a single bedside lamp. Erica sat in the room's only chair. Same housekeeping uniform, same sweat beading her forehead despite the air conditioning, but her eyes, direct, unwavering, held no fear. On the bed beside her lay a laptop, multiple phones, scattered documents. You're not a housekeeper, Byamsak said. I am. I just happen to be very good at listening. Nobody's that good. Erica smiled. Sad. Tired. You'd be surprised what invisible people can do. Sit down, Mr. Soak. You're bleeding through your bandages. He looked down. She was right. Fresh blood seeped through his shirt. But he remained standing. Tell me how you knew. Which part? That 5 men would come for you? That it would be at midnight? That they'd use knives? All of it. She leaned back. 3 weeks ago, I was cleaning room 1876. Standard checkout cleaning. The guest had left, but he'd forgotten something. A phone charger. I unplugged it from the wall, and I heard voices coming through the air vent. She pointed at the ceiling. The Plaza Grand's ventilation system connects everything. You talk in one room, it carries to another. Most people don't notice because of ambient noise, but when you work nights, when the hotel's quiet, you hear everything. Byamsak moved closer. You heard them planning. I heard 5 men, different languages, Korean, Russian, English. They were confirming details. The target, you. The method, close quarters, knives only, no guns to avoid noise. The timing, midnight. when your meeting with the Changsan crew would have you distracted. The location, Suite 1400. And Echo 7? I've worked here 7 years. I know every emergency system, every panic button, every security protocol. When I realized what they were planning, I looked up your suite's emergency code. Simple. Why warn me? You don't know me. He gestured vaguely. I'm not a good man. No, Erica agreed. You're not. But those 5 men, they were worse. And more importantly, she stood, moved to the window. I'm tired of being invisible, tired of knowing things and being ignored. You dismissed me in that lobby, waved me away like I was nothing. I could have let you die, but then I'd be what people expect me to be, powerless, irrelevant. I saved your life because I could, because nobody else would see what I saw. Byum-sok studied her. What else do you know? Everything. She turned from the window. The 5 men were contractors, hired through 3 cutouts so their employer stayed anonymous. But I know who paid them. Who? Your partner, Choi Sung-ho. The name hit like a fist. Choi Sung-ho, his oldest ally, the man who'd helped build his empire from nothing. They'd survived wars together, buried bodies together, split profits down the middle for 20 years. You're lying, Byum-sok said flatly. Am I? Erica picked up the laptop, turned it toward him. Choi's been moving money for 6 months. Offshore accounts, Swiss banks, Cayman Islands. He's been liquidating assets, preparing to take over your territory after you're dead. The laptop screen showed bank records, wire transfers, shell corporations, all bearing Choi's digital fingerprints. How did you get this? I clean his hotel suite twice a week. He thinks I'm furniture, leaves his laptop open, takes calls in front of me, discusses business like I'm deaf. I've been watching him for 3 years. Why? Because powerful men like you think cleaning ladies are invisible. But we're not. We're witnesses. And sometimes, she closed the laptop, we're the only ones who see the truth. Byum-sok's mind raced. Choi, his brother in all but blood, planning his murder. The contractors left documentation in room 1876, hidden behind the air vent, flight manifests, burner phones, payment schedules. I photographed everything before the police could find it. She handed him a USB drive. This is proof, enough to bury Choi or leverage against him. Whatever you choose. He took it. Why give this to me? Because I want something in return. There it was. The real reason. Nobody saved a mafia boss out of altruism. How much? He asked. Not money. Erica's voice went quiet, intense. I want out. Out of housekeeping. Out of invisibility. Out of being ignored. I want protection, resources, a new identity if necessary. And I want acknowledgement that women like me, women people overlook, are more dangerous than any assassin because we see everything. Byum-sok considered that. You want power. I want respect. Same thing. Maybe. Silence stretched between them. Then Byum-sok nodded. Done. But understand, once you enter my world, you can't leave. This protection comes with strings. I know. Erica met his eyes. I've been watching your world for 7 years. I know exactly what I'm agreeing to. He believed her. One question, he said. If you knew about the attack 3 weeks ago, why wait until the last minute to warn me? Erica smiled. That sad, tired smile. Because I needed to know if you'd listen, if you'd respect the warning even when it came from someone you considered beneath you. You didn't. You waved me away, dismissed me completely, and that taught me everything I needed to know about you, which is that you're arrogant, blind, and you need someone like me to survive, Because your enemies already know your weakness. You only see threats from equals. You ignore everyone else. And that's how they'll kill you next time, unless I'm there to whisper the truth. Byung-sok absorbed that. The accuracy stung more than his wounds. When do they send more? Choi's planning another attempt 6 weeks from now. Different method, different team. I don't have all the details yet, but I'm listening. Always listening. Then I need you close. I know. He moved toward the door. Stopped. The prophecy, the way you delivered it, very dramatic. I needed you to remember. Specific details stick in people's minds. 5 men, midnight, suite 1400, echo 7. If I just said, someone's trying to kill you, you'd forget immediately. You were testing me. I was teaching you that the most important information doesn't come from your expensive consultants or your network of criminals. Sometimes it comes from the woman pushing a cleaning cart. Remember that. It might save your life again. Byung-sok left without responding, but he remembered. Choi Sung-ho lived in a penthouse overlooking the Hudson River. $20 million of real estate protected by top-tier security and enough legal distance from his criminal empire to maintain plausible deniability. Byung-sok arrived at Gone, alone again, but with Erica's USB drive in his pocket and a recording device running. Choi's security let him through. They'd served together for years, trusted him. Foolish. The penthouse smelled of expensive coffee and old leather. Choi sat at a breakfast table, reading a newspaper. 62 years old, silver hair, tailored robe. He looked up, smiled. "Byung, you look terrible." "Dying will do that." Choi's smile didn't waver. "I heard about the attack. Thank God you survived. Do we know who sent them?" "We do." Byung-sok sat across from him, didn't wait for invitation. "You did it." The smile finally faded. "That's an accusation," Choi said carefully. "It's a fact." Byung-sok placed the USB drive on the table. Bank records, wire transfers, communications with the contractors, all leading back to you. Choi stared at the drive. His hand moved slightly toward his pocket where he likely kept a weapon. "Don't," Byung-sok warned. "I came here to talk, not kill, but I can change plans." Choi's hand stopped. "Where did you get this?" "A hotel housekeeper." "What?" "A woman you've ignored for 3 years. While you planned my death in your suite, she listened, watched, documented everything. You never saw her. That's why you failed." Choi leaned back, his mind working, calculating odds. "If you had real evidence, you'd have killed me already. Maybe I'm sentimental. You're never sentimental." "True. Here's what happens," Byung-sok said. "You liquidate your assets, all of them, transfer control to me, quietly. Then you disappear, take your money and vanish. Argentina, Thailand, anywhere that's not here. You get to live. That's more mercy than you showed me. And if I refuse, then this USB drive goes to everyone, our partners, our competitors, the feds. Your life ends messy. Mine ends cleaner. Your choice." Choi studied him. "You'd really let me go? I'd really prefer you gone over dead. Dead creates complications. Disappeared creates opportunities." Silence. Then Choi laughed, bitter, defeated. 20 years, we built this empire together, and I threw it away because I got greedy. You threw it away because you underestimated the help. The help? The people you ignore, the ones who see everything while you see nothing. Choi shook his head. "Who is she, this housekeeper? Someone smarter than both of us. Will she come after me too?" "Only if you come after me again." Choi considered that, then nodded. 48 hours. I'll be gone. 48 hours, Byung-sok agreed. He stood, walked to the door. "Byung." He turned. "How did she know?" Choi asked. "How did some cleaning woman figure out what took millions to orchestrate? Because you talked in front of her like she was furniture, made calls, left evidence. You never considered she might be listening. That's how. And you trust her now, this woman? More than I trusted you. Byung-sok left. 46 hours later, Choi Seung-ho boarded a private flight to Buenos Aires. His assets, offshore accounts, property holdings, business interests, quietly transferred to Byung-sok's control. The empire grew larger. The man who built it disappeared into South American obscurity. Justice, mafia style. 3 months passed. Erica didn't become part of Byung-sok's inner circle. She became something else. Something harder to define. His eyes, his ears, his ghost. She moved through his world like she'd moved through the hotel, invisible, observant, deadly in her knowledge. When rivals met in restaurants, Erica worked as a server, listened to their plans, reported back. When politicians needed bribing, Erica posed as an aide, documented their corruption. When deals went south, Erica found the leaks, the traitors, the weak links. She'd been right. Invisibility was power. People confessed sins to her without realizing it, revealed strategies while she pretended not to understand, discussed murders while she cleaned their blood-stained floors. Byung-sok's empire expanded, not through violence, but through information. Information she provided. He offered her apartments, money, status, everything that should matter. She refused. She kept her rent-controlled place in the Bronx, kept working side jobs, kept maintaining the facade of ordinary. "I'm more useful when people don't know what I am," she explained once. He didn't argue. She was right. But something bothered him. The way she looked at him sometimes, like she could see futures, read endings, know things that hadn't happened yet. If you're wondering what Erica really wants, if you think she's playing a longer game than Byung-sok realizes, drop a comment below. And if you believe this story deserves to reach more people, smash that like button and subscribe to Love and Tension, because the ending is coming, and it's not what anyone expects. 4 months after the attack, Byung-sok received a call. 3 a.m., his private line, the one only 5 people knew. "It's done," Erica's voice. Calm, flat. "What's done?" "I found who hired the contractors before Choi, the original source." Byung-sok sat up. "I thought Choi was the source. He was the money, but someone gave him the idea, planted the seeds, made him think killing you was the smart play." "Who?" "Meet me. Our usual place." She disconnected. Their usual place was a 24-hour diner in Queens. Fluorescent lights, burnt coffee, booths that had seen decades of whispered conversations. Byung-sok arrived 30 minutes later. Erica sat in the back booth, drinking tea that smelled like herbs he didn't recognize. He slid across from her. "Talk. Your wife." "My ex-wife," he corrected automatically. "She's the one who approached Choi, fed him information about your movements, your vulnerabilities, your meeting schedules. She wanted you dead. Choi wanted your empire. They aligned." Byung-sok's hands clenched. "Ji-won wouldn't what? Hire someone to kill the man who divorced her, who humiliated her in front of her family, who cut her off from the lifestyle she'd built for 15 years? I gave her money, resources, more than the courts would have mandated. You gave her scraps. She wanted the empire. When she couldn't have it, she decided to burn it down." Erica slid a folder across the table. Photos, bank statements, text messages, all showing Ji-won's coordination with Choi, all showing her hatred, her planning, her desire to watch him bleed. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" "Because I needed to be sure, and because," Erica met his eyes, "because I needed to see how you'd react." "React to what?" "To learning that the person who wanted you dead wasn't a rival, not competition, but someone you once loved, someone who knew you better than anyone. I needed to see if you'd break, if you'd go soft, if the truth would destroy you. And I needed to see if you'd break. Good. That means what comes next won't kill you either." "What comes next?" Erica sipped her tea. "Ji-won knows I found her. She knows you know. She's planning to run. Not just run, disappear, fake her death, start over, leave you with nothing but questions and ghosts." "When?" "Tomorrow. She's already at the airport, private charter, scheduled to depart at 6 a.m. Byung-sok checked his watch. 4:17 a.m. He could make it. He stood. "Wait." Erica's hand shot out, grabbed his wrist. Before you go, before you confront her, understand something. What? This is who you are, this life, these choices. Everyone close to you either dies or wants you dead. Your partner betrayed you. Your wife tried to have you killed. Your security team is decimated. And the only person keeping you alive is a woman you dismissed as invisible. Your point? My point is that I won't always be there. I won't always see the threats, and eventually someone smarter than Choi, smarter than Jiwon, will find a way to kill you that I can't predict. This life ends badly, always. Then why help me? Because, she released his wrist, leaned back, because right now, helping you serves my purpose, but the moment it doesn't, I'm gone. You won't see me again. You won't find me. I'll disappear into the same invisibility that saved your life. Remember that. Byung-sok stared at her. You sound like you're saying goodbye. I'm saying be careful. You survived because I spoke. Others will survive because I stay silent. Don't ever think you've figured me out. Don't ever think you understand what I want, because the second you do, you'll underestimate me, and that's when I become your biggest threat. She stood, left money on the table, walked toward the diner's exit. Byam! She paused, didn't turn. Thank you, he said, for saving my life. You're welcome, for now. She left. Byung-sok sat alone in the booth, the folder in front of him. Jiwon's betrayal documented in painful detail. The clock ticking toward 6 a.m., but his mind was on Erica, on her warning, on the way she'd gripped his wrist like she was holding him back from something inevitable. She'd saved him once. Would she save him again? Or had she just told him the truth, that eventually his luck would run out, and she'd be gone, and he'd die the way all men like him died? Alone, bleeding, surprised by the blade they never saw coming. Byung-sok caught Jiwon at the airport. Not the public terminals, the private aviation section, where money bought discretion. She stood near her chartered jet, surrounded by luggage, guards, new documents that would erase her old life. She saw him, didn't run, just smiled. I wondered if she'd tell you, Jiwon said. I did. The housekeeper, Erica. I knew about her, you know. Knew she was watching, reporting, but I thought she was on my side. Thought she hated you enough to let me finish the job. You don't hate me. Then what does she want? Good question. To be acknowledged, Byung-sok said. To be seen. We all want that. Jiwon's smile turned bitter. I wanted that from you for 15 years. Never got it. Maybe that's why I tried to kill you. Maybe. They stood in silence, security guards watching, the jet's engines warming up. Are you going to stop me? Jiwon asked. No. Surprise flashed across her face. Why not? Because Erica was right. Everyone close to me either dies or wants me dead. I'm tired of building graveyards. Go, disappear, start over. Just stay gone. That's it? No revenge? No punishment? Revenge is expensive. You already cost me enough. Jiwon studied him. You've changed. The man you married died here. The man you married died 3 months ago, in Suite 1400. What's left is just trying to survive. She nodded, walked toward the jet, stopped at the stairs. The housekeeper, Jiwon said without turning. Don't trust her. She's playing a game you don't understand, and when you finally figure it out, it'll be too late. I know. And you're okay with that? I don't have a choice. She's the only one who sees what's coming. Jiwon laughed, hollow. Then you're already dead. You just don't know it yet. She climbed the stairs, the jet door sealed, engines roared. Byung-sok watched it take off, watched it become a speck against the dawn sky, watched his ex-wife vanish into a future where he didn't exist. Then he returned to his car, checked his phone. One message, from a number he didn't recognize. 3 men, next Thursday, your office, Echo 12, E. Byung-sok stared at the message. Another prophecy, another warning, another opportunity to dismiss it, ignore it, wave it away. He thought about the lobby, about Erica's face, about the 13 minutes between her warning and the killer's arrival. He thought about Echo 7, about blood on expensive carpet, about surviving because someone invisible had chosen to speak. He typed back, "What's Echo 12? The response came immediately. "The panic code for your office building, but this time I won't be there to remind you. Remember it, or don't, your choice." No more messages after that. Byung-sok drove back to the city, to his office, to his empire built on violence and information. He looked up the building's emergency protocols, found Echo 12 in the security documentation. Then he waited. Thursday arrived. 3 men came to his office. Not killers, business partners from Seoul. Legitimate meeting, scheduled weeks ago. No ambush, no attack, no blood. False alarm. Byung-sok should have felt relieved. Instead, he felt paranoid. Was she testing him again? Seeing if he'd remember? If he'd trust her warnings even when they didn't materialize? Or had she seen something real, and the attackers had changed plans? Or, worst option, was she creating threats that didn't exist, making him dependent on her prophecies, binding him to her through manufactured fear? He didn't know, and that was the point. That night he tried to contact her, called the number, it was disconnected, checked her old apartment, empty, new tenants, asked his network, no one had seen her, no one knew where she'd gone. Erica James had vanished. Again. But now, every time Byung-sok entered a room, he thought about ventilation systems, about who might be listening, about the invisible people society trained him to ignore. Every time someone approached him, servers, maintenance workers, cleaning staff, he wondered if she was her, if she'd adopted a new face, a new name, a new invisibility. Every time his phone stayed silent, he wondered if that silence meant safety or danger, if she was watching over him or letting him fall. He'd survived the 5 killers, survived Choi's betrayal, survived Ji-won's hatred, but he hadn't survived Erica. She lived in his mind now, a ghost, a prophecy, a constant reminder that the most dangerous threats come from the people you dismiss. And that power, real power, belonged to those who see everything while being seen by no one. His empire grew, his wealth increased, his enemies fell. But every night, in the darkness of his suite, Byung-sok stared at shadows and wondered, was she still out there? Still watching? Still keeping him alive for reasons he couldn't comprehend? Or had she moved on to someone else, some other powerful fool who needed teaching, some other arrogant man who'd wave away the truth because it came from invisible lips? He'd never know. And that uncertainty, that constant gnawing uncertainty, was worse than any knife wound. Because, at least with a knife, you saw the blade coming. With Erica James, you only realized you'd been cut when the blood started flowing. And by then, it was always too late.
Byung-sok attended a charity gala, the kind of event where crime lords mingled with politicians, where dirty money wore designer suits, where everyone pretended to be something they weren't. He stood near the champagne fountain, alone despite the crowd, and then he saw her, across the ballroom, serving drinks. Different hair, different weight, she'd lost at least 40 pounds, different makeup, different clothes. But the eyes were the same, Erica. She looked directly at him, no recognition, no acknowledgement, just a server bringing drinks to powerful people. Invisible again. He started to move toward her. She shook her head once, subtle, clear, not here, not now. Then she turned away, disappeared into the crowd. Byung-sok stood frozen. She was still here, still watching, still moving through his world like a ghost that refused to rest. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Your finance minister is embezzling. Suite 1847. Check the hotel safes. You're welcome. E. He looked at the message, then at the crowd, tried to find her again. Gone. Always gone. Always there. Byung-sok had survived assassination, betrayal, the collapse of everything he'd built. But he'd never survive Erica James, because she'd done what no enemy could do. She'd made him afraid of silence, afraid of the help, afraid of the ignored, and that fear, that constant paralyzing fear of missing the next prophecy, would follow him until the day he died, which, according to Erica, was probably already scheduled. She just hadn't told him when yet. And she wouldn't.
not until it was too late to matter. The end. If this story made you think twice about the people you ignore every day, the servers, the cleaners, the invisible workers who see everything, then hit that subscribe button for love and tension, because everyone has a story, everyone knows something, and the moment you stop listening is the moment you lose.